Hey guys, how's it going? This is Tom Burkhardt from Car Reps Daily in the fast, low, and very cool 2019 Nissan Maxima SR. We're going to do a POV head cam review this time. Wanted to start the video though so you can see who's talking and introduce it. You know, I really wasn't even sure I was going to do a Maxima video. We'll talk about that in just 1 second. There's some really cool stuff in this revised Maxima with mid-cycle refresh, but there's also some stuff that continues to be a real disappointment. So let's flip over to the head cam right now and dive in. All right, what's new in the 2019 Maxima? So Nissan's flagship sedan was updated for 2019 with basically some cosmetic upgrades, essentially, but really effective ones. The nose looks awesome, all new LEDs, new front, new full frame grille up front with a little bit of you know, different execution, deeper V-motion grille, and of course the LED low and high beams, as well as indicators and fogs. Different fogs, different front bumper, so totally fresh look in the nose here, and as well as new wheels, LED taillights, and dark quad finish pipes for this SR, the sportiest trim, and then also some upgrades that were part of the Maxima SR Midnight package are now just SR items, like the gloss black rear spoiler, the black wheels. I think it had black mirrors before, but if it didn't, then that's part of this new package. And then the cabin got some upgrades too. You know, it got new USB, I guess USB-C charging functionality, some different finishes, dark headliner, and then a new like a tan GTR style quilted leather option that's available. We're in the black leather with quilted black Alcantara inserts that are very sticky and feel great. Steering wheel feels awesome. There's still so much that's good about this car, but it's really hard to get past this one issue that I think you know what I'm going to talk about. So first things first, like, why I almost didn't shoot this video, because I mean, there are definitely people out there who, like, you know, Savage Geese, who I love his channel, who are able to like give critiques like pretty effectively and not just seem like the biggest dick and then get banned from the manufacturer. But for some reason I really like to keep it positive in terms of you know, there are always, you know, good things about any car, even if you really don't like it. But for this review, there's just no getting around it. I mean, I've got other Maxima reviews on the site where I really am going to be more sympathetic to the CVT, but this Xtronic transmission absolutely ruins this car for anybody who really likes to drive. So that's a real bummer for a sports sedan. I wanted to do the POV cam because I wanted you to sort of see and sense some of the real issues. So is it a handling problem? No, the car handles great. You know, independent double wishbone and back these days, not decontented with that torsion beam anymore. You know, very, very powerful, 300 horsepower, 3.5 liter V6. Great grip, great drive position, great performance overall. It's about 5.5 seconds to 60, which is a lot quicker than any V6 Charger or the lesser engined Kia Stingers, which are its primary rivals. It's about bang on with the Camry XSE, but the Camry gets a traditional transmission, and this Maxima would be great with a manual. It'd be great with a double clutch, but with this Xtronic CVT, it's really, really bad. It's bad. It's just bad for hardcore enthusiasts. If you want to look cool and go fast and just like hang on for the ride, then I think it's fine. But if you're really into driver engagement and the purity of acceleration, then this car might not be for you. So why is that? So of course, in addition, like, Nissan has gotten the Xtronic CVTs to a pretty good spot where it doesn't just sit at a high RPM range and just rev it down, you know, as you increase speed, which it used to and was really, really irritating. You know, people would always say like, oh, it was mooing. You know, that was the comment. Pretty good brakes. You know, they've gotten to the point where it does simulate upshifts. We're in sport mode now. So it does simulate upshifts, but it's still no good. And I think it amplifies the sense of torque steer. There's a lot of torque steer in this car. I mean, front wheel drive for a big sports sedan with all this power, torque steer is inevitable. But it comes on in such strange surges because of the way the CVT affects the power delivery. That the torque steer plus the bizarre transmission shifting behavior, or non-shifting rather, you know, they really make it pretty unfun in traffic and unfun to really floor around town. But I know that this car can be fun, and I've driven on this road before, so I wanted to come out here and show that we can still have fun even while, you know, really not being fans of the CVT. Shifts are pretty effective. The sport mode's pretty effective. It does hold you in gear. You know, it's generally, it really tries, but there's just a lot of torque steer, and the brakes are fading really bad right now. A lot of torque steer, a lot of mewing, and the biggest gripe that I have with this CVT with the V6 is that it feels like it's slipping. It's the first time I got in this car, it was rainy, and I thought I was like peeling out at like 45 to 60 miles an hour as I was on this on-ramp, and I wasn't, but it just sort of feels that way. Bad brake fade right now. That's not a good sign. Okay, so from a stop, there's no purity in the steering. It's all over the place. Man, these brakes are like gone right now. There's really no purity in the steering feel at all. Even with a traditional automatic, you know when the torque steer is going to hit, and because of this sort of like, it's almost like chaotic shifting with this Xtronic, you don't know when the torque steer is going to come on. And as a result, the car is just all over the place. In regular road driving, you know, when you're trying to, you know, when you're turning from a stoplight and you want to give it some gas. And these are big bummers for me, because for me, the best part of driving any car is having its pedal like absolutely floored. I mean, that's my happy place. That's really when I will decide, like, okay, I love this car. I would love to drive this car every day, and I want to recommend it to all you guys. Or it's really make or break. And even slow cars, like the Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross from the other week, I mean, that car was fun to flog. It had a CVT too. It's, you know, it's just when you can really learn a lot about a car's character, particularly if it's trying to be a sporty car. And the Maxima is great in all scenarios, except with your foot on the floor and low speed handling. It does drive really well on the highway. It's like in one of my older reviews I called it the Bonneville GTR because it's front wheel drive, and it definitely feels it with all this power. But on the highway, it masks those handling idiosyncrasies a lot better than it does in a twisty road and the handling loop like now. So it's definitely this transmission is horrible. It's horrible. It ruins this car, in my opinion. But if you really like just like cruising and then very occasionally stepping hard on the gas and you like knowing that power's there, then Maxima could work for you. It certainly has a lot of other things going for it. Most notably, these looks for 2019. It looks amazing. It looks so good. Pass this guy. So like passing, I mean, the car is like, it's like, the steering just feels possessed. Looks amazing. These standard LEDs are gorgeous. The LED light signature in the front is now, you know, a really aggressive, those sort of like open box shaped on the edges of the headlamps for the LED accents in white. It looks so cool. It looks a lot better than the sort of like cross-eyed kind of appearance of the previous Maxima from this generation. And then the actual low beams are really cool. They're just like one of those they're reflector LED elements. So there's like 4 or 5 that create a line of light that is your main light element, and then a couple extra ones come on for the high beams. They look really cool. The car looks mean. It looks serious. It looks fast and sporty, and so the looks are all going for it. And of course, this car had pretty racy proportions, low roof, very, very wide. You know, it already looks pretty good, but now it looks just phenomenal. They've updated the taillights as well with new LED designs and LED optics for the actual brake light, not just the brake running light, and the brake turn signal in back. I think that the backup lamp in back is not LED, which might be the only thing on this exterior that's not. Because even, you know, you've got the fogs that are LED as well up front. Instead of like having a linear halogen fog, it's just like a little puddle projector. So it looks awesome, and that's not the only really great selling point. I mean, so the standard V6 means that like all Maximas are going to have this acceleration, you know, in the mid 5s to 60 miles an hour, which is fairly quick in the $30,000 ballpark for mainstream sedans, and definitely a lot quicker than you'll get in the base like BMW and some of the Acuras and Audis out there that people might cross shop this car with. So those are all really good things, and then of course you get inside, and the inside, the interior roominess and all those standard features have been Maxima's real aces in the hole for a lot of its lifespan. You know, this is a car that's been their top dog for a long time. My grandpa had Maximas, and then one of my good friends in high school had a series of Maximas. You know, it was all about the Maxima SE, and so they've changed that to the SR, and we've definitely lost some of the magic. I mean, it's still got all the front wheel drive downsides, but without any of the engagement or the fun. So that really bites. I mean, I had a little bit of fun around that twisty road, but the brake fade was shockingly bad, and of course this transmission is terrible whenever you're in the throttle. Like right now, driving on the road, or when you have the Pro Pilot Cruise on, it's fine. Like everything's fine. The car's very, very chill. You get to enjoy this very, very roomy cabin. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying, is that Maxima has always been a real hit with really tall guys, and then people who want a lot of backseat legroom. So it still delivers on those elements. There's so many bugs out here right now, it's crazy. Still really big, and the cabin feels good. The drive position is excellent. We got the extendable seat base squab down here, and then the Alcantara inserts in the seats really, really hold you, even though there isn't a ton of bolstering. I mean, it's just a really good cabin. The steering wheel is absolutely perfect place, so tactile. The flat shape of the flat bottom is kind of nice. Paddles are big and genuinely pretty useful to give this chaotic transmission some more direction. And then there's a lot of legroom. And then of course up here we've got a new element for this dual pane slide up moonroof. So that's pretty cool. And then power sunshades, which is also cool. So that is part of, for 2019, what is called the SR Premium Package. So that includes, that's about almost $2,000. Takes the base price from about $39,500 up to about, you know, about $41,500. And then this car also has floor mats and splash guards for an as-tested price of $42,800. And it's very livable. I mean, if you weren't like a power mad bird, if you don't floor the car, you know, very often, you're gonna be a pretty happy camper. The CarPlay is good. The Pro Pilot Assist, which is Nissan's, you know, whole suite of active safety systems, works pretty well. I just finally figured out why I couldn't get the lane, why lane keep wasn't working. It's in the settings here. So it's you know, a pretty good menu as far as Nissans go for the central cluster, and so generally good technology. Heated and cooled seats are very, very nice. I thought we had adjustable suspension, but I guess that is not actually electronically adjustable shocks, but not a big deal. The tech is a little bit behind when it comes to auto hold and electronic parking brake. We still have a manual parking brake in here, and no auto hold or anything. And there's just some other places where tech feels a little bit behind, but not in a deal breaker way that like some Nissans have been. So there, you know, there's all these things are going for the car, and then of course really aggressive pricing. So of course we got that. So we got like a mid 42-ish sticker price, but you can get these Maximas for like a lot off of that. So you can get this car for a lot cheaper, and that really makes it even more enticing. Obviously, all the demerits that, well, actually, I can't judge the new Altima because I haven't driven it yet, but a lot of the demerits from the V6 Maxima with the transmission are going to carry over to the Altima. We're going to go down here to this little boat launch here, and we can do a quick talking walk around as well. Show you guys some of the awesome exterior stuff that I'm talking about. Look at all that bugs on the windshield. The whole way up to that road, I was like, I must have used like half a bottle of bug wash, and now they just like won't even come off. Oh yeah, well, so yeah, some other weird quirks, like they've got really, you know, your aux in and USB-C and regular USB, and then a really deep cubby for your phone down here. But the weird thing is, like, how often are you actually going to put your phone away? Your phone's mostly going to be out with you, and then you can't shut the door to this little thing. So it's just like a little stuff like that. You can tell that the car is that this is a mid-cycle refresh and not a full redo. But I mean, it feels genuinely luxurious. It's really comfortable, and it's fast. But its major things are, you know, what's going to sell this car? What is the sun? Or its looks. I mean, it looks awesome, and that's all a lot of people care. That's all that a lot of people really care about. So let's go see these looks. Doesn't this look like the end of the world? It's just I guess this isn't even really a boat launch. You can launch kayaks or something, but this is tidal, so it actually all of this floods with the tides, you know, every 12 hours or so. But it's just a nice place to get pics and video now of the car. So this is the nose that looks so cool, covered in bugs right now. Wow, it must have been like, I don't know, bug mating season up there. But yeah, you can see how cool these LEDs look, and how, you know, aggressive and sporty the new nose graphic looks as well. It's just a cool looking machine. This vehicle's always looked good in this generation, but it's finally got the LEDs that it deserved, and it looks awesome. I love this roof line. I mean, the roof line still looks really, really cool. Let's do more of a close-up on the LEDs. And then the different fogs down here versus last year. It's a very cool looking car, and it's unique. You know, it looks a lot cooler than, you know, there are a lot of Chargers out there, of course, but this looks a lot cooler than any of the V6 Chargers. I think that's safe to say. Got that moonroof there. So we'll put on the actual automatic high beams, pretty nice. And then good roominess in the back seat. Of course, that's one of the big selling points for Maxima, like we said. That's how big it is back here. And that is still very true. More new USBs back there. And then light revisions for the tail. Like, you know, we've got this new gloss black spoiler from the Midnight package. It's on all the SRs. New LEDs here. LED indicator, and then the actual brake lamp. Oh yeah, so the backup lamp is actually still a bulb, but that's okay. And then something cool they've done, so that, you know, it's these flying lines of light, and then they've actually made the side reflector part of that, so it's like continuous. You can't see because there's no, it's not dark right now, but it is a pretty cool way to be, because otherwise this side indicator reflector, which is required by NHTSA, would have to be like down here or on here or something. So by having it in the light assembly, they sort of they streamline it in that way, declutter it. And then these quad black exhaust finishers look really cool too. So it's a cool looking machine. I don't think, I mean, the Maxima looks great. It had a couple generations there where it wasn't a really exciting vehicle to look at. But glad to say that that it's very cool these days. But there are issues for hardcore performance guys. So I've got the high beams on, as well as the left turn signal. It looks great. It looks really, really good at all times, but particularly, look at the bug fest. I got the car washed like right before doing this video, so it's just how it goes down here in South Carolina with the bugs. Oh, we had the hurricane last week. Maybe that's, they all had their breeding grounds were all fertile. Okay, so these are the low beams, and then the LED fogs, as you can see. Very cool car. Some big demerits with that CVT, but a lot of people are not going to mind. You know, people who want a really cool looking car and one that is fast and big, but they're not as hardcore about driver engagement and how fun it is on full throttle. I mean, the Maxima could be the car for you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.